Welcome to tonight's City Council meeting. We will declare the meeting open. A quorum is here. At this time, I'm going to ask Councilman Holland if he'll lead us in the pledge and invocation.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Shall we pray? Lord in heaven, we come to you again today with bowed heads and humbled hearts, thanking you for all that you do for us. Lord, I pray that you continue to help this council move this beautiful city in a pleasing direction that is pleasing to you. Lord, I ask that you ask for a special prayer for our first responders, that they continue to stay safe and work as hard as they do as we sleep at night. Lord, I ask as we depart this building tonight that everyone makes it safe to their homes and to their families. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. So we have one set of minutes to approve tonight from the City Council meeting of June 4th. Everybody have an opportunity to look those over.
Move to approve the minutes, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, at this time, we'll open public hearing and begin with ordinance 6125. Linda, if you'll read that for us, please.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sherman amending Section 12, ordinance number 2280, so as to include certain properties within the R2 multifamily residential district at 1522 North Broughton Street, being 0.558 acres in the J.B. McInerney Survey, abstract number 763, and also being Lot 2, Block 1 of the proposed Chin addition, Xiao Hung Chin and Tao Min Chin, owners, Dream to Life Designs designer, draftsman, and Underwood Drafting and Surveying surveyor, providing for a repealer, finding that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Thank you, Linda. Scott?
Yeah, this request is on 1522 North Broughton, and it's to go to R2 multifamily. They want to put 3 duplexes on this lot. It's just north of the senior center toward Texoma Parkway. It's in compliance with the master plan.
Okay.
Board voted 7-0 to approve it, subject to the staff review.
Okay. Thank you, Scott. Is there anyone here to address this item this evening? Okay. Linda, if you'll read 6126 for us, please.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sherman amending Section 12, ordinance number 2280, so as to include certain properties within the R1 one-family residential district in the Preston Club subdivision, being Preston Club, the Classics subdivision, lots 1 through 28, Block 1, lots 1 through 5, Block 2, lots 1 through 4, Block 3, lots 1 through 3, Block 4, lots 1 through 6, Block 5, and lots 1 through 5, Block 6. Preston Club, the Classics, Phase 2, lots 1 through 19. Preston Club, the Classics, Phase 2, replat lots 13 and 14, lots 13R and 14R. Preston Club, the Classics, Phase 3, lots 1 through 39, Block 1, lots 1 through 29, Block 2. Preston Club, the Classics, Phase 4, lots 1 through 2, Block 1, lots 1 through 37, Block 2, lots 1 through 24, Block 3, lots 1 through 24, Block 4, lots 1 through 21 through 2, Block 5, and Lot 1, Block 6. Preston Club, the Legends subdivision, Phase 1, lots 1 through 25, Block 11, and lots 1 through 3, Block 13. Preston Club, the Legends, Phase 1, replat lots 11, 12, and 13, Block 11, lots 11R and 13R. Preston Club, the Legends subdivision, Phase 2, lots 1 through 12, Block 10. Preston Club, the Legends, Phase 3, lots 1 through 15. Northern Challenge, Phase 1, lots 1 through 2, Block A, lots 1 through 12, Block B, lots 1 through 5, Block C, lots 1 through 13, Block D, and Lot 1, Block E, providing for a repealer, finding that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Thank you, Linda.
Yeah, let's see.
Golly.
Oh,
Is that a record?
I'm going to
too?
summarize.
Okay.
This is a newly annexed area at the Preston Club. This actually covers 315 lots. This should be our biggest zone change ever, I guess. Our ordinance requires us to annex property as RA agriculture because normally we're doing undeveloped land. These subdivisions were already platted, and when people came in for permits, they couldn't meet the setbacks or the area requirements. So the city initiated this request, went through P&Z. to go from RA to R1, and they voted 7-0 to approve this.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Is there anyone here to address this item this evening? Okay, Linda, if you'll read 6127 for us.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sherman amending Section 8, subsection 5A, ordinance number 2280, so as to grant a specific use permit to allow an amenity center, including community clubhouse, pool, and playground, in an SF1 single-family residential district at 604 West North Creek Drive, being Lot 21, Block 0, Austin Landing, Phase 2A1, Stone Hollow Homes LLC owners, Leo Bowler, representative, and TPS Custom Homes designer, providing for a repealer clause, providing that this specific use permit shall be granted subject to certain conditions, providing a penalty not to exceed $2,000, finding that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Thank you, Linda.
The ordinance requires a specific use permit to put this amenity center in a residential neighborhood. We had no opposition, and the board voted 7-0 to approve this, subject to the staff review letter.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Is there anyone here to address this item this evening? Linda, if you'll read 6128 for us, please.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sherman amending Section 8, subsection 5A, ordinance number 2280, so as to grant a specific use permit to allow a preschool in an R1 one-family residential district at 600 South Dewey Avenue, being lots 3 through 10, Block 4, J.C. Lindstedt Edition, Crutchville Heights Baptist Church owners, Master Key Ministries of Grayson County tenant, and Julie Rickey representative, providing for a repealer clause, providing that this specific use permit shall be granted subject to certain conditions, providing a penalty not to exceed $2,000, finding that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Okay, thank you, Linda.
This also requires a specific use permit to put the preschool in the church building. We did had comments from the neighborhood which were addressed, parking and traffic. They're planning on scheduling the pickup and drop-off to be a little different from the Crutchfield School, so that doesn't create a problem. The board voted 7-0 to approve this, subject to the staff review letter and with a limit of 48 students.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Is there anyone here to address this item this evening? Okay. If not, we'll close public hearing and consider adoption of ordinance number 6125, 6126, 6127, and 6128. Council, any questions?
On 6127, who exactly is going to own that, and will that pool be considered public or private?
That will be private, and it belongs to the developers.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve ordinance 6125, 6126, 6127, and 6128 as presented.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, we're down to the consent agenda. These items are considered to be routine and will be enacted in one motion without discussion unless a council member or citizen requests a specific item be discussed and voted on separately. And since there's only one, the consent agenda includes item C2. Council?
Move to approve the consent agenda?
A second.
Okay, motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Consent agenda is approved. Thank you. All right, resolution 6380. Linda, if you'll read that for us.
A resolution approving and authorizing publication of notice of intention to issue certificates of obligation.
Okay, Mary?
Yes, this resolution approves the publication of the notice to issue up to $19.5 million in certificates of obligation consistent with what was discussed at the budget workshop. Roads, the Legacy Village infrastructure, Pecan Grove ball fields are all included in this issuance. The issuance is for 25 years, and the debt service is already included in the 19 budget.
Okay. All right, council, any questions?
What was the total amount of that?
It'll be about 19.5. No, that's okay. It's up to, so it's not going to be exactly, but pretty close.
No, sir, that's advertised publicly, and then you have, I guess, a group of, that you go solicit that.
Right, it's a competitive bid in the market. Our financial advisor takes care of all that. And then this will come back to you in the form of an ordinance after the debt is issued for you to approve the sale, and then we get the proceeds a few weeks after that. It'll be that first week in September.
All right, then, Mr. Mayor, I make a motion for 6380 to be approved.
Okay, got a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, we are down to D1. Linda, if you'll read that for us.
Amended site plan approval and exception for Heritage Development Partners LLC owners, Brockett Davis Drake Incorporated Civil Engineers Surveyor, and Curtis Group Architects Limited Architect under ordinance number 2252, Article 4, Section 410, 2J, to allow a medical office and a previously approved exception under ordinance number 2280, Section 6.4, subsection 4, to allow 196 parking spaces in lieu of the required 206 spaces for a medical office building in the Blaylock Industrial Park, Blaylock Commercial Overlay District at 204 Medical Drive.
Okay, thank you, Linda.
This is a medical office building out there in front of the old J&J. And the request today is to do 196 parking spaces in lieu of 206, and they're doing a small addition to the structure as well. The board voted 7-0 to approve this, subject to the staff review letter. We had no opposition.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Council, any questions on this item?
Is it just space prohibitive that they couldn't get to 206?
They've tried to do more, and I think they've used every inch that they have.
Yeah, I make a motion to approve.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, Linda, if you'll read D2 for us, please.
Site plan approval and variance for Sherman Economic Development Corporation and Globotech Incorporated owners and Justin Walton, Teague Nolan Perkins Engineers Representative under ordinance number 2252, Article 4, Sections 410, 2J, and 2G2 to allow a Globotech power generation facility and chain link fence with a 13-foot rear setback in lieu of the required 55.7 foot in the Blaylock Industrial Park at 200 West FM 1417 Heritage Parkway.
Thank you. Scott?
Okay, this is a power generation facility which will be behind Globotech down Howe Drive there. It's bordered by trees and the street, and the request is to have a 13-foot rear setback and chain link fence and to allow this use. Board voted unanimous to approve this, subject to the staff review letter.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Council, any questions about this item?
This is not the building expansion, this is the,
Now, this is separate to the south.
they are doing a building expansion.
That'll be coming probably next month or August, yeah.
Scott, when we give an exception like this for this 13-foot rear setback instead of the 55.7, does that set a precedence?
It
where
would.
somebody can use that in the future and say, well, you
It
gave...
can, it can. This is pretty unique because of the drainage and the tree lines that you're wanting to maintain to screen this and the terrain. So there was a reason besides just saying carte blanche, here you go. It joins, you're looking at the highway department
Okay,
out the back over there and stuff like that, so.
okay.
But it would set a precedent if it was
I mean,
clear
for
open space,
other
for
people in the
sure.
future to come up and say, well, you gave him,
Under the same circumstances, it would set a precedent.
So they have room to meet it, there would be a lot involved, taking down trees and those kind of things. Is that correct?
There would be a lot of tree taken out, which would not necessarily make it look any better. And they did, my understanding, they're buying this land from Sedco as well to get it further away from the plant.
And Sedco is included on this. Is that to mean that this will be able to,
I don't think they've transferred the land yet.
okay, that's why they're on here?
They do have representatives here to speak on this I don't want to go beyond what I know.
All right, council, any other questions?
And I'll move to approve.
Okay,
Second.
motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, thank you. All right, Linda, if you'll read D3 for us, please.
Consider request of the Pottsboro Independent School District Education Foundation to temporarily close certain streets for the first annual Moonlighting for the Cards 5K and Fun Run on Saturday, September 29th, 2018.
Okay, thank you, Linda. Nate?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. The only reason this is not on consent agenda, which it normally would be, is because this event is changing hands this year. This was previously an event to benefit the Crisis Center. They have basically transferred ownership of this event over to the Pottsboro Education Foundation. We have told the Education Foundation that because this is an organization outside of Sherman, that they will be required to pay for their own security or their own police if they choose to include that.
Okay. All right, council, any questions on this item?
And I'll
Just,
go.
no,
Willie?
No, go ahead, Willie. Go ahead,
You were mulling over a question.
I was just curious, and I guess maybe you answered that, but why the, I mean, I love that they're coming to Sherman, but, I mean, just because they've taken that over, but it's gonna benefit Pottsboro at this point?
That's correct, yes.
Because our
That's why the
downtown's
decision was
awesome.
made on the security, yeah.
Everybody wants to be in our downtown.
Streets. Move to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Yep, we got a motion and a couple of seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Nate. All right, consider cancellation of the.
Motion.
All right, do we have,
Ask some questions about that.
all right, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion second. All in favor to cancel the Monday, July 2nd regular city council meeting?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, we are down to citizen requests. Is there anyone to address the council this evening? No? Okay. Media questions? No questions, all right. Council comments. I'll start with you last time, Darren. I'll start with you, Josh. Did I start with you? Craig.
No,
But
you
go
haven't started
ahead.
with me in a while, so
Go ahead.
I don't have any comments.
Okay.
I just wanna say, I don't know where they all came from, but there was a big crowd Thursday night at the,
Yeah.
I thought I saw somewhere that maybe that was the largest crowd.
Yeah, that's our estimate,
Wow.
largest crowd.
And I'm just gonna mention, Mrs. Dean and the ladies from Master Key were here in support of the nursing, not the nursing,
The daycare. Mm-hmm.
And what they're doing, they're fulfilling a very good need in our community. I think we've always kind of had a shortfall since years ago when we no longer had our own city daycare. But anyways, thank you, ladies, for.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have no comment.
Okay.
I want to say how much I appreciated all of the work that went into the budget workshop and all the different departments and staff that came and represented their departments there. I know that takes a lot of work and can be nervous getting up in front of this gruesome-looking crew up here, but we appreciate everything that y'all put into that and all the departments that did not speak. I know there was still a lot of, not just because you didn't speak, but because there was a lot of thought that went into your budget as well. And I just wanted to tell you guys I appreciated all the work that y'all do and put into that every year, so thank you for that.
I also want to piggyback off of that. Lots of work, well presented. I also want to thank the city for all the work that we put out for the Juneteenth festivities. Kind of happened at an inopportune time this year with a couple of deaths that hit that event pretty big this year. So everybody started coming out kind of late, but lots of great work, and it worked out really well, though.
Thank you. All right. So we've got 3 announcements. I want to thank everyone who came out to Hot Summer Nights last Thursday. It's the largest crowd we've had on the municipal lawn, and got to hear some great music by Mark Chestnut. The next 2 weeks, we're going to have a lot of fun, different flavors of music. We've got Memphis Soul this week. It's going to be a great band. And then the following week, we'll have Havana Energy, which is going to be a lot of fun. So come on out, 7 o'clock on Thursdays, right across the street here. Yeah, it's Latin music. So bring your dancing shoes, Willie. Maybe you could do a fundraiser. I'd pay to see that. Hey, you could donate it to Master Key. Okay.
That'll raise some money.
Dance off, yeah.
I'd help put money into that one.
Yeah, exactly. So the next Coffee with the Mayor will be held Friday, July 6th at the Old Iron Post this time. We'll be showing off some awesome drone footage from our recent budget meetings, so it'll be a neat chance for the public to get to see some of the great things going on around town. And that'll be 8 a.m. Friday, July 6th at Old Iron Post. Finally, if you hadn't had a chance to catch the Sherman Community Players performance of Grease, there's still time. The show will continue through Sunday, June 24th, so I'd encourage everyone to get out and support our great local theater. All right, so we are down to executive session. The City Council will now hold a closed executive session pursuant to the Texas Open Meetings Act at Section 551.071 to consult with the city attorney concerning pending or contemplated litigation on a matter in which the city attorney's duty under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with this chapter and its Section 551.087 to deliberate regarding economic development negotiations. So at 5:22, we will dismiss into executive session. Thank you.